2007 to 2010 is when you had your roughest times. That's when I got into the business, as you know from the first episodes. And this is a pivotal point in the industry, or it should have been. It should have been a point for everyone, as consumers, as real estate professionals, whoever they may be, to look at the industry and say, what did we do wrong, right? How did we get from here to here? And how do we have such a detrimental crisis on our hands? And from some standpoints, we did. We looked at Dodd-Frank, which was an act that was passed after the fact. This was an opportunity for, like I said, everybody within the industry to be able to really try to fix things. And a lot of the government regulation that came about with those things were, I don't want to say an unfair attempt, but was not sufficient enough. Overall, you had government regulation that tried to step in to control things, but you had no real accountability from real estate professionals in terms of real estate agents or brokers, mortgage lenders, bankers themselves. All of those people within the industry had an opportunity at that point to say, we must be doing something wrong. And instead, it was ups and downs are normal. And I'll show you this as one of the last pieces, and you can really, it really speaks for itself. This is from the 1880s all the way through current date. And so you saw this huge climb, and that huge climb was approaching the housing crisis. And so we had this big inflation jump. And as you can see, we do have typical ups and downs, right? There's big jumps, there's falls, there's jumps, there's falls. But we've never seen anything like we saw at that time. And the problem with that is that now we're still in a position where the industry is being treated the exact same way it always has. Lending has gone back to tried and true methods that they were doing in the early 2000s, late 90s, that caused a lot of the problems in the first place. And so we didn't get a real solution. And really the only way to accomplish that is if consumers have more education and can understand how to hold people in the industry accountable. Because in most cases, if I'm looking at a family who just wants a home, that family is interested in that. They just want a home to live in that they love and they can build their family in and they can grow in. And the industry should be held accountable for making sure that those people are protected. And the only way that we can accomplish that is if people have more information. They need to know how the industry works, how to hold people in the industry accountable, and drive change. Because you're going to have some key people in the industry that will speak out and say things like I'm saying that are relatively aggressive from the standpoint of this needs to be fixed. We need to increase education for consumers. We need to hold real estate agents more accountable, make it more difficult to be licensed, so that the people that are advising and working with the consumers are in a position to really add value to them. You need people who want to do the right thing. A lot of it's about ethics and integrity, but it's also about education. If I have only 90 hours more of education than you do, how am I going to educate you on what you should or shouldn't do? There's a huge disconnect between the industry itself and the people who fuel the industry to grow. And we continuously set them up in bad situations, and they're continuously set up for failure. And that's something that we've got to change. So hopefully this was not too boring. We got to know where we started in order to figure out where we should go. So all of this is really to lay the groundwork a lot for this series of things that we're going to talk about. We're going to do a mortgage discussion, so make sure you subscribe to the channel because we want to continuously put out series, stuff like this so that you can get more and more information. And all of this is critically important so that you know where we were, where it looks like we're going now, and how if we spread education and if we spread the desire within the industry and in consumers to drive change, then we can see a dramatic difference. So keep coming back and we'll see you next time. Bye.